In starting, a man is coming out of a building, and after that we get to witness Valhalla's attack on Toman's 3rd Division. Valhalla has way more members than Toman. During the attack, the character of Hanamiya Kazutora is introduced. And later, Shuji Hanma is introduced. They are position holders of Valhalla and are determined to destroy Toman completely. They burn Toman's uniform in front of Pa-chin, which makes Pa angry. He picks a pointy rod and stabs Valhalla's one member. After that, we see Baji Keisuke sitting in a park. Recap of the first movie shows Takemichi's struggle that he had been through to save Hina's life. Now, in the present timeline, Takemichi is living his usual life, but now he doesn't take people's comments seriously. He gets invited to Hina's house, where we see a funny conversation between Takemichi and Hina. There, Naoto suggests them to go on a drive. While on the drive, Hina asks Takemichi to celebrate Halloween with her, because they have never been together on Halloween before. But she forbids Takemichi to become a zombie, because if he cosplays zombie, then he'll be covered in blood. They go to Hina's favorite place, where Hina tells Takemichi that she had been here before with the person she loves, but that person wants to break up with her, and then turns around and asks Takemichi why he wants to break up with her. Takemichi gets nervous and goes to washroom. Takemichi doesn't know what is happening, because he traveled in time and stopped. 𝙑𝙤𝙞𝙘𝙚 death, changing one event of the past, has changed other things as well, about which Takemichi doesn't know. But he builds courage to face the situation and comes back, but finds out that Hina has left. While finding her, he meets Hanma. Hanma, after seeing Takemichi in front of him, says it's boring because he wanted to finish it all together. Takemichi finds Hina sitting in car and feel relief. But then suddenly, a car crashes into Hina's car. Takemichi runs to save her, but she is extremely injured and stuck in car. She asks him to leave her and go, but Takemichi declines because he loves her. Hina pushes him out of the car. Takemichi rushes to save her, but car explodes and Hinata dies. Takemichi swears that he'll save her again. He'll keep trying until he finds a future where Hina doesn't die. He decides to become Toman's leader. After Hina's funeral, Takemichi goes to Naoto and asks him to shake his hand so that he can travel back in time again to save Hina. But Naoto refuses and says that it's impossible to change fate. He tells him about Sendo Atsushi, the guy who crashed into Hina's car. Takemichi plans to solve the matter from root and tell Naoto that he'll become the leader of Toman. Naoto asks if Takemichi has gone crazy, but Takemichi is serious. Naoto agrees and takes him to a prison. He tells Takemichi that 𝙑𝙤𝙞𝙘𝙚 is not with Toman, and there is no death record of him. 𝙑𝙑𝙘𝙀 is currently a death row prisoner. When 𝙑𝙑𝙀 sees Takemichi in good state, he thanks the god. They ask him that what happened to Toman during past 10 years. Toman is a criminal organization, and it is because of Kisaki. 𝙑𝙑𝙀𝙀 is angry with himself because he couldn't stop Kisaki. If he gets a chance, he'll kill Kisaki. 𝙑𝙑𝙀 advises Takemichi to leave Tokyo because Kisaki is targeting everything that Mikey values. We see a flashback of 𝙑𝙑𝙀 killing some people to find Kisaki, where he got caught by Detective 𝘾𝙀𝙀. This all turns out to be Kisaki's plan. Naoto and Takemichi now know that Kisaki is the reason of Hina's death. Takemichi is determined to become Toman's leader to stop Kisaki from joining Toman. Naoto again asks if he's stupid, but they don't have any other choice. So they shake hands and Takemichi travels back in time. Once again, he finds himself in a bathhouse, where Mikey and 𝙑𝙑𝙀 are with him. Later, they take Takemichi to inauguration ceremony for 3rd Division Captain of Toman, where Mikey announces that soon they'll fight against Valhalla, so they need to enlarge their gang. He calls out new 3rd Division Captain Kisaki Teta. But other members have objections with this decision. Mikey chooses Kisaki because he brought some former Moebius members to Toman, thus enlarging Toman. Takemichi steps forward and punches Kisaki. At the scene, Baji Keisuke arrives and begins attacking new members. Baji wasn't invited to inauguration ceremony because he wasn't in Toman's fight against Moebius. Baji comes to Takemichi and attacks him as well, but Mitsuya stops him. Baji is not happy with Mikey and says that he doesn't need Mikey's permission to do anything. Baji announces he is joining Valhalla and is now an enemy of Toman. Kisaki believes that Toman is messed up because of Takemichi. After Takemichi regains consciousness, Mikey tells him that 𝙑𝙤𝙤 is his childhood friend and one of the 5 formers of Toman. He wants Takemichi to bring 𝙑𝙤𝙤 back to Toman. Takemichi agrees with the condition that if he brings 𝙑𝙤𝙤 back, then Kisaki will be kicked out of Toman. Mikey agrees and makes him a member of Toman. Takemichi finds in a picture of Toman's forming members, but there is a 6th member that he doesn't know. Takemichi meets Hina. He asks her that they'll never break up, and meets his friends Akun, Yamagishi, and Makoto. They tell him about Valhalla, that the leader is called Headless Angel, but nobody knows who he is. Second position in Valhalla is held by Hanma Shuji. He has 2 tattoos of sin and punishment on his hands. The third position is held by Hanamiya Kazutora, the guy with piercings. At that moment, a short guy with piercings enters the class. Makoto misbehaves with him but soon realizes that he's Kazutora. Kazutora wants to take Takemichi with him, but Akun resists. Takemichi agrees and goes with Kazutora. Kazutora tells him that he has been in jail. That's why Takemichi doesn't know him, even though they both are from the same school. He takes Takemichi to the place of Valhalla, where 𝙑𝙤𝙤 is beating Chiufu, the deputy captain of the 1st Division, and his former partner. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 is doing this to prove his loyalty towards Valhalla. Here, 3 new characters are introduced: Chomi, Chanbo, and Choji. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 asks Hanma if this is enough as proof of his loyalty, as Takemichi was the only common person who attended Toman's ceremony. So Hanma wants to know what 𝙑𝙤𝙤 said in the ceremony. Takemichi says that 𝙑𝙤𝙤 declared that he is Toman's enemy. Kazutora thinks that this is enough proof for Hanma to allow 𝙑𝙤𝙤 to join Valhalla. Kazutora asks 𝙑𝙤𝙤 to lend him his strength so that he can destroy Toman and kill Mikey. Takemichi tries to stop 𝙑𝙤𝙤 by saying that he is one of the founding members. How can he betray Toman? This is the moment when Takemichi is told that Kazutora is the 6th founding member of Toman, the one Takemichi saw in that picture. We see flashback where Toman is in its initial time, and their uniforms just got ready. Mikey wanted to shorten the name of gang from Tokyo Manjiro Kai to Toman, but others disagree. They went on a ride wearing their uniform for the first time. As Mikey's bike was slow, other team members asked him to change his bike. Mikey said that he wants to ride a Hawk CB 250T, but till he gets that Hawkmaru will be his friend. Mikey's bike ran out of gas. They played a game to decide who would take Mikey's bike to gas station, and 𝙑𝙤𝙤 lost. While on his way to the gas station, he got attacked by a gang. In his attempt to save Mikey's bike from getting any damage, 𝙑𝙤𝙤 offered his body to enemies' attack. Mikey and other members appear on the scene to help 𝙑𝙤𝙤. And there, Toman fought its first ever fight. All members of Toman were strong. They brutally beat their opponents and taught them a good lesson. Later, Kazutora took 𝙑𝙤𝙤 to a garage to show him the dream bike of Mikey. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 asks Kazutora that how he would arrange the money to buy that bike, but Kazutora had planned to steal that bike for Mikey's sake. At night, they broke into the garage and tried to steal that bike. They had almost succeeded, but then owner of that garage appeared. He was strong. He stopped 𝙑𝙤𝙤. He turned out to be Shinichiro Sano, Mikey's older brother. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 was familiar with him. Kazutora unknowingly and unintentionally killed him by hitting him with a large tool. He got scared to know that he had killed someone and thought that it was all Mikey's fault. As he had killed his brother, so he would have to kill Mikey as well. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 said that it's nobody's fault. But Kazutora himself, 𝙑𝙤𝙤 promised him to stay with him no matter what happens. Police arrested them both. Kazutora hoped that Mikey would forgive him, because it was unintentional. But Mikey was shocked himself and broke into tears. This was the moment when Kazutora had developed hatred for Mikey. Takemichi was shocked after knowing the backstory. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 didn't go to prison because Kazutora replaced him. Hanma is impressed by hearing that 𝙑𝙤𝙤 killed Mikey's brother and accepts him in Valhalla. Kazutora asks Takemichi to deliver his message to Mikey, that they'll have a brawl on October 31st in the abandoned car park. At the graveyard, when Mikey and others visit Shin's grave, Mikey tells Takemichi that he knows that Kazutora didn't do that intentionally, and that everything is over, but still, he's unable to forget it. This bike. Shin would have given this bike to Mikey on his birthday. Draken and Mitsuya discuss that now. Toman has split into 2 parts, but they cannot interfere in this matter. They just have to protect Mikey. Mikey was upset to hand over Pa's position to Kisaki. Mitsuya got Takemichi's uniform, but it's incomplete. because he hasn't decided which division he wants to join. 𝙀𝙗 doesn't want to go against Valhalla, and he thinks that Mikey don't want it either. Takemichi is regretting going to Valhalla. He gets called by an unknown boy, but then he recognizes that the boy is Matsuno Chifuyu, captain of Division 1 of Tomen. Chifuyu asks Takemichi, "That isn't 𝙑𝙤𝙤𝙞𝙘𝙚 cool?" But he says he does not know. Chifuyu make him sit with him and tell him that 𝙑𝙤𝙤 did all that for a reason. He did it to enter Valhalla. Nobody realizes it because 𝙑𝙤𝙤 is unique. Ordinary people can't understand him. But Takemichi asks what was the reason. Chifuyu doesn't know that, so he wants Takemichi to go to Valhalla again, but Takemichi is scared. Chifuyu says Takemichi dared to hit Kisaki. Plus, he also went to Valhalla to bring 𝙑𝙤𝙤 back. Surely there's a reason for him to do all that. Takemichi tells him that he wants to protect Hina, and for that he wants to become Tomen's leader. Chifuyu doesn't understand what he is saying, but he will help him. He tells Takemichi that they both are of same age. After hearing that, Takemichi changes this way of talking, which leads to a funny interaction between them. They again go to Valhalla, where 𝙑𝙤𝙤 asks Chifuyu if his punches weren't enough. 𝙑𝙤𝙤 kept Chifuyu with him because he was good at fighting. Once again, both of them get a beat up from Valhalla. Takemichi is upset and thinks that 𝙑𝙤𝙤 doesn't even want to come back anymore. Chifuyu is thankful to Takemichi for going out there. That beat up caused Chifuyu's wisdom tooth to fall out. Takemichi asks, "Isn't Hanma the leader?" Chifuyu tells him that Hanma is just a representative, but still they always receive orders. Maybe there's someone who's behind the scene. It's useless to think about it, because they just have to bring 𝙑𝙤𝙤 back. Takemichi calls Chifuyu stupid, which leads to another funny interaction. Valhalla has many former Mobius members, so to investigate more, they go to the boss of Shibu High School, and he turns out to be Kiyomasa. He is beating one customer because of pending bill of 100,000 yen. Kiyomasa asks what does Takemichi, the 1st Division captain, wants from him. 𝙀𝙗 was the one who kicked Kiyomasa out of Tomen. Moebius members brainwashed Kiyomasa into stabbing 𝙀𝙗. He regrets it now. Chifuyu asks who invited him. The one who invited Kiyomasa was Kisaki. He persuaded him by saying that if he completes great tasks, he can become the leader. But Kisaki wasn't alone, someone else was with him. The one with him was Hanma.
Jeez.
So the Headless Angel is nobody else than Kisaki. Takemichi sees a flashback of Mikey killing someone. On the other hand, Kisaki is trying to brainwash Mikey, saying that 𝙀𝙀 doesn't want to fight against Valhalla. Hanma attacks 𝙀𝙀 because he wants to say hello to 𝙀𝙀 before the battle. And Mitsuya also gets attacked by Choji. Takemichi's confused that why Kisaki wanted to join Tomen. What is he planning to do? He travels back to the present time and meets 𝙀𝙀 again. 𝙀𝙀 says that he had asked Takemichi to leave Tokyo. Takemichi apologizes and he wants to ask one thing. The non-existent leader of Valhalla is Kisaki, right? But that is wrong because the leader of Valhalla is Mikey.
Mikeyだ.
Takemichi cannot believe it. 𝙀𝙀 further tells that during a brawl with Valhalla called Bloody Halloween, Tomen lost for the first time. Takemichi can't believe it because Tomen had Mikey. It turns out that it was Mikey, because of whom Tomen had lost. He killed Kazutora during that fight, and Takemichi had witnessed it. But as mentioned earlier, he doesn't remember past events. But after hearing that from 𝙀𝙀, he starts remembering it and sees a flashback of Mikey killing Kazutora. It shatters him. Later, he visits that same car part with Naoto. He sees Mikey over there and runs towards him. But as he approaches near Mikey, has left. Takemichi says to Naoto that he will not let Mikey kill anyone. He'll surely save everybody. Naoto hopes for him to come back safe and sound. Here they shake hands, and with this, the first part destiny of Tokyo Revengers 2 Bloody Halloween ends.